You might think this is just another motivational video, but something about these words is making you pause. That pause is no coincidence. Imagine for a moment that every single day of your life, you have been carrying an invisible cage. No one told you it was there. No one warned you about its silent grip. You kept moving through school, through your job, through relationships, never suspecting that something deep and unseen was draining your power. Like a phantom parasite, it wrapped around your heart, stealing the spark that was supposed to be yours. The first shock is realizing that this cage is not made of metal or concrete. It's made of beliefs, of stories, of all those ideas you were fed since you were a child, telling you to sit down, be quiet, stay in line, don't dream too big. These stories hardened over time, becoming bars that trap your spirit. And the craziest part? You got so used to them that you didn't even feel their weight anymore. Like a fish doesn't notice water, you forgot they were even there. That's why today's message feels so strange, maybe even uncomfortable. It cracks the surface of that cold, indifferent routine you've been living. The numbness, the dullness of just another day is suddenly breaking apart. You feel a tiny spark of something you haven't felt in a long time, wonder. That spark might terrify you. It might make you suspicious, but it's also a sign that you're still alive inside. Let's be honest, most people feel nothing when you talk about change. They shrug, roll their eyes, dismiss it. It's easier to stay in that lukewarm pool of hopelessness. That is exactly what the system wants. That is how you were trained. Disgust, coldness, apathy, they are poisons designed to keep you from trying, from daring, from hoping. Because if you don't hope, you cannot rebel. If you don't rebel, you cannot break free. That is why, right now, you might feel a rush of surprise, maybe even anger, stirring in your chest. Why didn't anyone tell you the truth before? Why didn't they show you that you could choose to walk out of this cage? The answer is painfully simple. They didn't know either. Your parents, your teachers, your friends, they were trapped in their own cages. And they handed you the same keys that locked them up, thinking they were protecting you. But today, something shifts. You see the bars. You notice how they squeeze you, how they shrink your dreams. You sense that maybe, just maybe, you don't have to stay here. That is the moment of awakening. It doesn't look glamorous. It doesn't feel easy. It is messy, raw, uncomfortable. It is like waking up from a nightmare where you had forgotten you were even asleep. Right now, your mind might be whispering, "This is nonsense. Go back to sleep. Stop listening." That is the final guard of your cage trying to keep you inside. But listen deeper. Under the fear, under the chill of indifference, there is a voice, soft but steady, that says, "What if this is true? What if there is more?" And that question is your first step. That shock of wonder, that uneasy sense of amazement, is the spark that could light your path. Because when you see the cage, you can choose to break it. When you see the lie, you can choose to refuse it. So pause. Breathe. Look around you with fresh eyes. What feels forced? What feels dead? What feels like someone else's plan instead of yours? That is your starting point. No more pretending. No more half-alive days. The surprise of this moment is real, and the choice it brings is even more real. You can stay numb, or you can rise. You can ignore the bars, or you can grab them and shake them until they shatter. And if that feels terrifying, good. That means you are still awake. Now that you've cracked the cage open, something else rises to the surface. It isn't hope, not yet. It is sadness, raw, painful, heavy sadness. The realization hits you like a tidal wave. So many years have been lost. So many dreams buried. All that time you obeyed the rules, played small, told yourself you weren't worthy, and for what? You feel a sting of regret so sharp it makes you dizzy. How could you have let this happen? That is the question echoing through your heart. And behind it comes a deeper, darker burn, anger. A rage you didn't know you had. Because it wasn't just your own fault. You were guided into this by voices you trusted. Parents, teachers, society, even your culture. They all told you to be realistic, to stop dreaming, to accept a smaller life. You feel cheated. You feel betrayed. The sadness is a wound that seems endless. Every missed chance, Every spark of joy you killed before it even had a chance to grow comes back to haunt you. Memories come flooding in. Times you stayed silent when you should have spoken, times you hid when you should have shined. Each one feels like a cut across your soul. And that is exactly why so many people never wake up. It hurts too much to look at. The pain of lost years, lost possibilities, can feel unbearable. And underneath that pain, anger stirs, bubbling like lava, threatening to explode. Anger at yourself. Anger at the world. Anger at every person who told you to play it safe. It is important to feel it. Do not push it away. Do not sugarcoat it with fake optimism. This sadness is true. This anger is real. If you deny it, you will carry it forever, like a weight on your back. But if you let it wash over you, if you allow yourself to grieve, you can begin to heal. Imagine standing in front of a broken mirror. You see your reflection fractured, lines of old pain crisscrossing your face. But you are still standing. You are still breathing. That is the sign that you are stronger than you ever believed. I want you to let the sadness run through you right now. Let yourself mourn the time you lost. Cry if you need to. Curse if you have to. Let every unspoken scream rise from the deepest part of your chest. Because you were not wrong to dream. You were not wrong to want more. They made you believe those were sins, but they never were. You were lied to over and over until you believed the lies yourself. And that should make you angry, furious. Not to destroy, but to rise. Let that anger be a fire. Let it burn through the old excuses, the patterns that trapped you. Let it fuel your determination to never again bow down to someone else's limits. Maybe you are wondering if it is too late. That is what the sadness will try to tell you, that you missed your chance, that you are too old, too far gone, too broken. But listen carefully, that voice is just the same old programming. You can break it. You must break it. Every day you still breathe is a day you can begin again. The sadness will soften in time, the anger will transform, but first you must feel them. They are your signal that something inside you still cares, still burns, still wants to live fully. This is not about blaming your parents, your teachers, your culture forever. It is about taking back what was stolen. It is about choosing, starting today, to trust your own heart more than any outside authority. Feel the sadness. Feel the anger. And then promise yourself that you will not let them sink you. Instead, let them lift you. Let them be proof that your spirit has not given up yet. Yes, it is painful. Yes, it is unfair. But it is also the beginning. You are breaking free. The tears are washing the dirt from your eyes, and the anger is giving you courage to stand up. Right now, in this moment, you are more powerful than you have ever been. When the tears finally dry and the anger cools, something unexpected happens. A tiny spark, almost impossible to see at first, starts glowing deep within you. It feels soft, delicate, like the first warm sun after a long, cold winter. It is joy. And it surprises you because after so much pain, you had nearly forgotten that you were even capable of feeling joy at all. But there it is, a sweetness bubbling up, a sense of possibility, a quiet excitement. You notice that you are still alive, that your heart still beats, that your mind is awake and searching. Even after everything, you are still here. And that simple fact is worth celebrating. Joy comes to you in unexpected ways. You catch yourself smiling at a silly memory or laughing at a small moment of beauty. Maybe you notice the way sunlight hits a leaf or how the breeze feels cool on your skin. These tiny flashes of joy, so easy to overlook, are actually messages. They are proof that you have not been broken. That realization can feel shocking. You may even think, how can I smile after everything I've lost? But here's the truth, that joy is a sign of resilience. It is your spirit reminding you that you are more than your pain. You are more than your mistakes. You are more than your fear. And with that joy comes another surprise. You start to remember your dreams. They may have been buried for years, but they have not died. They have simply been waiting, sleeping under layers of caution and self-doubt, waiting for the right moment to rise again. Let them rise now. Feel the thrill of possibility, the rush of hope that surprises you. It may feel unfamiliar, almost scary, to hope again. but you do not need to shut it down. Joy is not a weakness. It is the fuel that will help you build a new future. Think about this. Every great shift in history began with someone daring to believe something better was possible. Someone dared to hope. That person could be you. Let your joy be wild. Let it fill every cell of your body. Let it shock you with its force. Because after so many years of quiet suffering, you deserve to feel it fully. You deserve to remember what it is like to be happy. There is nothing wrong with being happy, even while you still have work to do. Happiness is not a betrayal of your struggles. It is what gives you the strength to keep going. You can hold joy and pain at the same time. That is the miracle of being human. I want you to imagine this for a moment. You stand on a hill, looking at the horizon. For the first time in ages, you feel the sun on your face and you smile, really smile. That moment is a symbol. It means you are free to start again. It means your heart is ready to open. In that smile lives all the dreams you thought were lost. In that smile lives all the strength you did not know you still had. Remember this, you are worthy of happiness. You are worthy of delight. You do not have to earn them through endless struggle or prove you are good enough. You are allowed to feel joyful simply because you exist. And that is the surprise no one told you. Happiness is your natural state. It was only hidden under layers of pain. Now you are pulling those layers away. So today, celebrate yourself. Celebrate the fact that you are still capable of wonder, that you can still laugh, that you can still dream, because that is how you rebuild a life worth living. Have you ever felt a sudden rush, a burst of energy that seems to come out of nowhere? Maybe it happens when you think about a dream you once had, or when you imagine breaking free from old patterns. That spark, that wild, joyful surge, is what I want you to notice today. Because it's not an illusion. It's a sign you are ready to grow. Too often, we're trained to dull our excitement. Maybe you were told not to get your hopes up, or warned that people who reach too high are destined for disappointment. Those beliefs are like chains wrapped around your heart. They keep you small, cautious, afraid of risking anything. But the truth is that excited, joyful energy is your soul trying to wake you up. It's the universe sending a jolt through your system to remind you of your possibilities. If you ignore it, you fall back into routine. But if you listen, if you honor that excitement, you will begin to see just how powerful you really are. I want you to picture yourself standing at the start of an adventure. You can feel it in your bones, the sense that you're on the edge of something important. You might not have all the answers. You might not even know exactly what you want yet, but you feel it, the thrill of the unknown, the promise of discovery. This feeling is precious. Don't push it away. Instead, follow it. Let it move you. Let it energize you. That excitement is a messenger from your deeper self. It says, yes, you can. Some people will try to tell you that excitement is childish or unrealistic. They'll say you need to be practical and stay safe. They'll try to shrink your dreams to fit their own fears. But you are not here to live a half-life. You are here to experience the fullness of who you are. And that means trusting your joyful energy, even if it surprises you, even if it feels reckless at first. Life was never meant to be lived in a gray haze of routine. You are meant to taste, to feel, to create, to explore. Think about a time when you felt truly alive. Maybe it was when you traveled somewhere new, fell in love, learned a skill that challenged you. That moment of aliveness is exactly what you are being called to reclaim. It takes courage to say yes to that call. It takes courage to leave the predictable behind and step into the unknown. But the greatest adventures, the greatest transformations, always begin with one spark of excitement. So don't let the weight of your past dim this energy. You deserve to be thrilled by your own life. You deserve to wake up every day with a sense of wonder. Even small choices can reignite your excitement. A fresh goal, a new friendship, a brave conversation. These are the building blocks of a vibrant, joyful existence. When you feel excitement bubbling up, don't squash it. Nurture it. Treat it as sacred. Let it lead you. It is your spirit trying to break free from the cage of fear. In that spark lives the blueprint of your future. In that spark lives your courage, your playfulness, your unstoppable heart. So today, I invite you to fan that flame. Let your excitement grow. Let it shine through every word, every step, every decision. Because that excitement is a gift, proof that you are alive, awake, and ready to live boldly. There is a kind of joy that does not burst out in loud laughter, but rather grows slowly, steadily, from deep within. It is the joy of knowing you have survived. The joy of realizing that even after disappointment, after loss, after regrets, you are still here, and stronger than you ever imagined. You see, so many of us carry quiet sadness. We mourn the chances we didn't take, the dreams we gave up on too soon, the harsh words we once believed about ourselves. That sadness is real. It is a heavy burden if you refuse to look at it. But if you choose to face it, something miraculous can happen. By looking your sadness in the eye, you discover its hidden lesson, that you are far more resilient than you thought. The tears you shed, the heartbreak you endured, the doubts that haunted you, they did not destroy you. They shaped you. They gave you empathy, depth, and the capacity to understand others who struggle. This is the seed of pride. True pride does not come from shallow victories. It is born from standing up after you have fallen, from trying again even when you're scared. That pride is your medal of honor. It proves you are more than your wounds. Take a moment right now to remember something you survived. Maybe it was the end of a relationship, a financial loss, a painful betrayal. Maybe it was a period of feeling worthless, lost, or broken. Look back at that moment and realize you are no longer there. You are here, right now, reading these words, searching for growth. That is a victory. There is incredible joy in claiming that victory. The world might never fully understand your struggles, but you do. You know what it took to get through them. You know the nights you cried alone, the mornings you forced yourself to keep going. That effort matters. That effort is worth celebrating. Too often, we wait for others to validate us. We want someone to say, "I'm proud of you." But what if you said it to yourself? What if you honored your own journey, gave yourself the applause you truly deserve? You have earned the right to feel proud. Even if you have made mistakes. Even if you still have doubts. You are growing, learning, healing, and that is something to celebrate. Healing is not about pretending you never hurt. It is about no longer letting the pain define who you are. It is about choosing to build a new story from the ashes of the old one. That choice is powerful, and it is yours alone. Imagine planting a beautiful flower in a cracked pot. It grows despite the cracks. It thrives despite the damage. In fact, the cracks let in light, let in air, let in rain. In the same way, your wounds have made you more open, more compassionate, more real. That is a reason for joy, a quiet, steady, powerful joy. So today, stand tall. Remember how far you have come. Feel proud of the person you are becoming. Feel proud that you kept going even when it would have been easier to give up. You are not defined by your sadness. You are defined by how you rise from it. That is your legacy. That is your power. There is a moment in every person's journey when joy and fear collide. You stand on the edge of something new, your heart pounding with excitement, but also trembling with worry. That tension is the mark of growth. It means you are stepping into unknown territory, expanding beyond what is familiar. Many people wait until they feel completely confident before they take action. But the truth is, confidence does not come before action. It comes from action. You must move even with the fear still in your chest. You must trust that the joy pulling you forward is stronger than the fear trying to hold you back. Right now, you might feel a spark of inspiration. Maybe you want to change careers, start a business, express your creativity, or finally say what you really feel. That spark is sacred. It is your higher self nudging you toward growth. But almost immediately, fear will raise its voice. What if you fail? What if you embarrass yourself? What if you lose everything? These questions are normal. They are part of the human experience. Fear evolved to keep you safe. But fear cannot tell the difference between a real threat and a courageous dream. So when you listen only to fear, you end up stuck, safe but unfulfilled. There is a better way. When fear shows up, don't try to banish it. Welcome it. See it as a sign that you are on the right path. If your dream did not scare you a little, it would not be big enough to change your life. Think of a time you took a risk and it paid off. Maybe you had to push past shaky hands or a racing heart. Remember the thrill when you did it anyway. That is the power of courage, doing it even while afraid. Life is far too precious to waste it in a comfort zone. You have gifts, talents, and dreams that the world is waiting to see. Even if you stumble, even if you fail, you will gain experience, wisdom, and resilience. And what if you succeed? What if you surprise yourself? That is the reward of taking the leap. Imagine for a second that you are a bird learning to fly. You stand on the branch, wings trembling, eyes looking down at the scary drop. The branch feels safe, but you were not born to stay there. You were born to soar. That first jump is terrifying. But the moment you catch the wind beneath your wings, you realize, this was what I was meant for. That is what bold action feels like. The fear may not vanish, but it becomes smaller compared to the joy of discovering your power. Every great artist, leader, healer, or visionary felt fear. They did not let it decide their fate. Neither should you. Today, look at the area of your life where you feel both excitement and fear. That is your clue. That is where your next growth lies. Ask yourself, if I wasn't afraid, what would I do? Then, go do it, even if you're still afraid. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move with fear as your companion. That is where breakthroughs happen. That is how dreams are born. That is how your life transforms from ordinary to extraordinary. So feel the fear, but don't let it rule you. Feel the joy, and let that be your guide. You are ready to fly. There comes a moment when you look around and realize, I did it. You've broken through layers of doubt, you've tried something new, you've stepped forward into your purpose. And that deserves to be celebrated. Feel the pride surging through your veins, warming your heart with a glow you might not have felt for years. It is a beautiful thing to stand in your own power, to witness how far you have come, and to acknowledge the courage it took to get here. Too often, we rush past our victories, chasing the next goal, forgetting to pause and savor what we've achieved. Stop right here and let yourself feel it. Happiness, pride, gratitude. You've earned every bit of it. But with this joy, a shadow of fear can still sneak in. You might wonder, what if I can't keep it up? What if I lose everything? What if I'm not as good as they think I am? This is where the fear of success comes in. It sounds strange, but it is very real. Sometimes, shining brightly can feel as vulnerable as failing. You fear you might be judged, challenged, or even envied. You fear you might not be able to live up to your own story. Breathe. That fear is simply your mind adjusting to a bigger version of yourself. When you grow beyond your old patterns, your identity takes time to catch up. Remember, your success did not happen by accident. You created it with your intention, your hard work, and your courage. It is no fluke. You are worthy of it. Think about people who have inspired you, artists, leaders, creators. Did they ever shrink back after winning, afraid of shining too brightly? Some did, and they lost their momentum. Others chose to keep growing, no matter the fears, and became legends. Which one do you want to be? Let your joy become fuel. Let your pride become a foundation. Instead of seeing success as a fragile glass that might break, see it as a platform from which you can rise even higher. There will be challenges ahead. That is life. But you are stronger than you were before, and you now have proof that you can overcome obstacles. When the fear of losing comes knocking, remind yourself that you built this. You are not at the mercy of luck or chance. You created this moment through bold choices. And you can do it again, no matter what happens. Pride is a precious gift, but it should never turn into complacency. Keep growing. Keep evolving. Use your newfound confidence to take even bolder steps. If your heart beats a little faster at the thought of going even further, good. That means you're alive. That means you still have dreams left to chase. You have earned the right to celebrate, to feel the sweetness of achievement, to stand tall in your own radiance. Share it with others. Inspire them. Let them see what is possible. But also stay aware, stay humble, and stay brave. Because the journey never really ends. Each summit reveals another peak on the horizon. And you, with your heart full of pride and your spirit still touched by fear, are ready to climb higher. So celebrate today. Dance in your joy. Hold your head high. And tomorrow, when the next challenge comes, meet it with the same courageous spirit that brought you this far. You are becoming unstoppable. Now that you have arrived at this point, there is no going back. You have glimpsed a deeper truth, and that spark within you refuses to be ignored. Feel your pulse. It is stronger now, charged with a new electricity. That is no accident. It is a sign that you are ready to live differently. You stand on the edge of transformation. Ahead of you is a path filled with opportunities and challenges, beauty and uncertainty, triumph and loss. Yes, the unknown can feel terrifying. You may wonder, what if I'm not strong enough? What if I fail? What if I lose my way? Pause for a moment. Feel that fear. Respect it. But do not let it stop you. Because beyond that fear is freedom. Right now, you are being invited to take your place in a bigger story, to move beyond routine, beyond excuses, beyond the comfortable prison you have called normal for too long. No one is coming to save you. No one will hand you a guaranteed victory. That is the point. You are the hero of this story, and heroes must act. Imagine a life where you no longer shrink yourself to fit someone else's expectations. Imagine waking up and knowing you are living on your terms, guided by your values, your dreams, your unbreakable purpose. That life is possible, but only if you answer this call. Look at how far you have come, the courage it took to even listen to these words, to question your own patterns, to dare to dream again. That is no small feat. Give yourself credit. But also know, this is just the beginning. Your mission now is to carry this energy forward, to keep moving, to keep choosing what lights you up even if it scares you. Especially if it scares you. You will face resistance, from others, from the world, from your own mind. That is normal. Growth threatens the systems that benefit from your obedience and fear. But you are stronger than those systems. Use what you have learned here as a shield. Let it remind you that you are not alone, that countless souls are awakening just like you, ready to build a new way of being. Remember that each choice, each tiny act of courage, ripples through the universe. Your voice matters. Your actions matter. So make a declaration right now. Say it out loud or in your heart. I am ready. I choose my path. I will rise. Feel how those words shift your energy. Notice the courage blooming in your chest, the excitement tinged with nervousness. That's how you know it's real. The road will not be easy. There will be days you want to give up. But let this moment become your anchor, a lighthouse you can return to whenever you feel lost. No matter what happens, you are already changed. You cannot unsee the truth. You cannot go back to who you were. And that is a blessing. Life is short. The universe is vast. And you, yes, you, are a miracle in motion. So go. Take one small step today. Leave a comment, share your intention, tell someone you trust what you are about to do. Speak it into existence. Let the world hear your promise. And when you do, you send out a signal. I am here. I am alive. I am ready. You are the one you've been waiting for.